and I'm just going to have Crypto.com NFT introduce another special person that's dropping NFT on Monday. He brings 1.5 million followers from Instagram and YouTube, so I can either have Joe or Damien introduce a special person right next to us here up in the audience.
Yeah, so this week we're starting off big with Mike Rashid's drop on Monday, tomorrow. Now, Mike is an American entrepreneur, fitness and lifestyle enthusiast, professional boxer, thought leader. But I mean, most of all, he's a certified beast. So aside from that, without further ado, let's just let Mike speak with us here. Hey, Mike.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the intro. I really appreciate it. You guys are way too kind. But good morning. How's everybody doing?
Very well. Good to have you. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, good to hear you.
Nice. I'm really excited to be here. Super excited about the space. I'm excited about, everything that's happening with NFTs right now and this evolution of art. For me personally, my selfish reasons of embracing NFTs is the art. I love art, and I really I have an affinity for digital art. And it's interesting because some of the biggest NFT creators from 2021, I've been following them for years. DMing them about getting some artwork done for my office and stuff like that. So this is just stuff that I've been a fan of before we all heard of NFTs. So now that there's a whole new medium in which people can express their creativity, it's just amazing, and I'm super excited about it.
I'm so excited, and I mean, you mentioned there a selfish approach for digital art, but I mean, let's not forget the dirty doing the angelic work. I mean, come on, what you're doing with the Dirty Angels, and I know that's part of the drop. I can't wait to hear more.
Yeah, man, it's actually a fun thing. For those who are not familiar with what he's mentioning with the Dirty Angels, I have we kind of put together this organization a few years ago, in which we mobilizing some of my followers. So at night we would I do a call to action on Instagram. I wouldn't tell them what I was doing. I said, hey, if y'all want to help me, I got a project I'm working on. If y'all want to help me, come through at this time, this location, etc. And then when they get there, we'd have a whole bunch of food and hygiene supplies and stuff like that. And I'd ask them to help me put this stuff together. And then we go out in the streets late at night into the slums and just, gave people water, food, hygiene kits, stuff like that. So then we just started doing it. And, I travel a lot, especially pre-quarantine. We would always do a lot of different expos, just different events. And whatever city I was in, I would do the same thing. So we called it Dirty Angels because we literally out there getting dirty. We out in the slums. But, we're doing somewhat of some angelic work. And, and I know that what we're doing, on average, we would give out 300 meals and 300 kits. I know that wasn't really putting a dent into, homelessness and some of the problems we have with poverty. But at least it was showing people that somebody actually give a fuck about people, you know what I mean? And because there's a whole segment of society, a big portion of society that nobody knows exists or even cares, you know what I mean? So we was this is the least that we could do. And also for the people that follow me, it was planting a seed in them that, to somewhat live a life of service, because I consider that for myself, just to do something for people who can't necessarily do something back for you. You know what I mean? So just being selfless in that regard. So that's how that came about. And of course, the Dirty Angel has manifested itself in art and NFT, and that will be one of the drops tomorrow.
I saw that item. It looks great, along with the plugged into the Matrix one, which I have a million questions about as well. But before we go too deep, I love that what you're doing for charity and the causes you called out in that promotional video, which I love, by the way. It really amped me up. How you really do recognize all the people that don't have access to clean water or clean hygiene services, and it resonates a lot with one of our other favorite ambassadors of the platform, Matt Damon and water.org and what they're doing for those in need. So I think that's really excellent. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. Nobody knows everything, and we all live in our bubbles. But I don't know. I've always had an inclination to get outside of my bubble and just touch different areas of life and feel things out. And it really tripped me out when I learned that over half of the Earth's population didn't have toilets or sufficient sewage. And, I went to Haiti with some friends last year, and, I was really blown away by the dichotomy of that being such a beautiful landscape and water so warm and crystal clear, but also the level of poverty, and to see people still smiling and thriving, it just really blew my mind. So it gave me a huge appreciation for what I have. And it also told me, hey, quit being a little bitch and stop complaining, because there's people with way less that's doing fine. But it does kind of like make me want to do whatever I can to relieve some stress from other people, when they're going through extreme situations like that, because it is really sad when you think about it.
Absolutely, and sorry about the background noise, but I did have another question. I mean, you mentioned something about how you need energy to move, and how you pick up on other people's energy, and that helps your frequency. Is that sort of how it ties into your charity work?
I mean, I feel like that ties into my persona, my personality, like me in general. When a person is in somewhat of a leadership position, right? They have a lot of responsibilities. And when, like, even in my house, like, I run a house, I got a family, and Dad, Mike, every question that's asked of me, I answer it, because they're giving, in a way, it's like they're giving you power. They're giving me power, right? And if you think of, like, Greek mythology, when they would be like, now a lot of these notions are simplified, I believe, from how they were originally written, because people were, these authors were brilliant back then, but they would have, if you watch, like, say, Clash of the Titans, the gods would get weak if the people didn't praise them or need them, right? And that's metaphoric, but I think that's very literal when a person is a leader or in leadership position. If you're quote unquote a leader or in a leadership position and nobody needs you, you're not really a leader. You know what I mean? So when they do need you and when they ask of you anything, that's a gift, so you don't take that lightly, and you deliver on it. You try your best to deliver on it. And that's what I was explaining when I was writing that, so that energy that they're giving me, it gives me fuel, like every organism on this planet needs energy to move, so, us humans, I guess you could say that we're at the top of the hierarchy in terms of creatures on this planet. So our movement is a little bit different. It's more to it. It's more levels to it, right? So we don't just move to survive, which most animals do. We move to enjoy art. We create things of comfort. We do a lot of things that most creatures don't do. We do a lot of things that's not necessary for survival, but it's very important to us, So we just live in a fascinating time. I'm just happy to be alive right now. And I'm happy to be, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm happy to be a human, to have been born a human, you know what I'm saying? And not some other animal, because, life sucks for most species, you know what I'm saying? We look at majestic beasts like lions and tigers, and we marvel at their beauty and their power and their strength. But the reality is most of them die of starvation, you know what I'm saying? So we just see it in the highlight clips. But we have the means to engineer our lives and our society to be every day to be highlights. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fully aware of that, and I try to make my life a highlight reel. So yeah,
I love it so much, and it comes across like any wonder people connect with you so well. I mean, I feel like I'm on the same frequency as you as well. I mean, the way that people are coming together. I've said in many of my spaces we're team human. It's not which country or race, religion, or anything like that. It's just we're all on the same side. Almost like we need a interplanetary visitor for us to realize that we are all on the same team here and building the future together. So I love that so much.
There's a common sentiment that humans suck and we're destroying the earth and nature, go team nature. And I'm like, listen, everything is nature, because everything that we deal with is of the earth, is of nature. And guess what? We're of nature. Then they say, well, this is man-made, that's man-made. Man is nature. Our brains is of nature, is of this earth. The earth is a living, breathing organism, and we are biomes on it. We're microorganisms on our own planet, and we have a level of consciousness. And I'm sure, I don't know, but I would assume that everything has some kind of consciousness that's only identifiable by whatever it is. So, and what we've done is incredible. Now, none of us know if there's life outside of here. It's a high probability that it is, but it's also a high probability that we would never be able to recognize it or it recognize us as life, right? It would be so different because conditions are so different in other places. But look at our solar system. As far as we know, we're the only ones in our solar system, at least in galaxy. And look at what we've done. We have rockets. I mean, look at what we're doing now. This is magic. There's a bunch of people, it's 500, 600 people or so, all in different places of the world talking to each other. I mean, look at the television. These magical images of people moving around. You have people in this thing talking and communicating. To me, it's mind-blowing. I'm even mind-blown by a needle going on a record and it playing music. That's incredible to me, and that's nature. That's nature at its finest. That's a high level of nature. And it comes from human ingenuity and human brilliance and creativity. And I love it. So I'm team human. I'm team everything, but I'm mostly team human. So I feel you on that.
Wow, so much energy in this room. We're rocking about 650 folks in here today live. So we're smashing all the records, Mike, as you know. And I think Joe had a question. His mic was hot while Ozzy was asking a question. Joe, did you have a follow-up question for Mike?
Yeah, Mike, I just wanted if you haven't read the interview that we did with Mike, everyone here in space, please go and check it out. He's a super fascinating guy. He has such a cool history and has such a successful career. I guess, I was curious, with the art that you did, can you tell us more about your inspiration and where you were thinking this stuff came from? And yeah.
So the direction of the art, I got to shout out my friend Jesse right here, Jesse Galati. He brought me into the Crypto.com deal, and he has a lot of experience in the NFT space, and he knows what works. So I wasn't sure what would work, because typically what I see in the NFT space is, more of a cartoon, like animal creature, you know what I'm saying, that people will use for their art or different variations of it. So I'm like, you sure it's going to work? He said, yeah, I think so. So I said, okay, cool, let's run with it. So myself and the artist, we kind of collaborated on some different things, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. So this, like, everything that I kind of walked them in a direction of, like, my sentiment of things that I think is cool and style-wise and stuff like that. And I was able to create stories for everything that was created, because it's really like, I don't know, my life. I'm a writer by nature. I've been writing all my life, and that's how I express myself better when I write than when I speak and when I create. So it was easy for me to, like, really create stories on these characters, which is all different attributes of me, and also attributes that I want to, fully manifest in my being. So that was pretty much the direction of the art for this particular launch. And, once my mind started going, it's going. And I'm working on another launch already. And it's so incredible what we're working on right now. But this first one, That was a collaboration between myself and Jesse.
So,
sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, so you actually did you write like a little narrative for each of these things to help explain and get your ideas down, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I did. That's what if you guys read the interview on Medium, it kind of gives the breakdown on each character and the story.
And thank you for that, Mike. This is interesting. I'm actually reading through the Medium article right now. We're going to figure out how to pin it up here in the room, so for the audience to obviously get a little bit more details and information on it. Can you expand a little more on what is expected tomorrow for all the folks that are tentatively listening in here? I know that you have been doing phenomenal interviews and YouTube videos, most recently with Ugonzo. I encourage all the folks to go up there and just to kind of see what kind of a person Mike is. Can you excite us a little bit more about how many NFTs, what's each one going to look like, and maybe some of those built-in benefits for the people they're going to try to get some tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna glaze over it, but then I'm gonna ask Jesse if he can tap in on the specifics on the deliverables, because this space is so new to me. I'm trying to grasp everything. But what everyone will get is access to everyone that purchases an NFT. They're going to be getting free access to my app, and my online training, and my online challenges, which I do a challenge every month, in which I'm giving out $15 grand to the winners, and just pretty much helping people accelerate the process of getting in the best shape of their life, right, in a real practical way, and also strengthening the mind and the body. And also, I'll be the people that buy the exclusive drops. I'll be choosing 3 of them to fly out here to California, so we can really vibe out, right? So I'm talking about a whole day, be at the office with me, podcast. We can shoot videos, YouTube stuff, because I'm always shooting content. Going to the gym, going out to dinner, late night. So they'll get a whole experience of a day in my life. And, it'll give me an opportunity to serve them, and be nice to them. So that's what they'll be getting on the utility side. But if Jesse can tap in on the specifics on the individual NFTs, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, what's up, guys? Really stoked to be here. Thanks so much. So, when it comes to the actual amounts and quantities, there's going to be 5 different NFTs in the drop, and so 3 of the NFTs will be limited editions, and 2 of them will be open editions. So I don't want to allude to too much, but just so you guys know, 3 will be limited and 2 will be open. Designs are incredible. They're actually done by a very well-known designer, and actually a previous Crypto.com artist, Jer Visuals. So this guy is one of the most talented digital artists in the world, and we got him to collab with Mike to bring forward these incredible pieces. So that's, I don't even think we really advertised that. So just so you guys all know that plan on buying one. They're done by a reputable, high-selling NFT artist. Another thing I just want to add is that I've had the privilege of working with tons of artists and celebrities and athletes, and bring them to this NFT space and to Crypto.com. Up until working with Mike, I've never worked with someone that is just so passionate about learning the entire space, so passionate about engaging with the fans and learning everything, and just making sure that we're focused on providing value. It's incredible. So the conversations that I've had with Mike about this drop and what we're doing, it's amazing. And it's cool to know that Mike is not just coming as just like a one-off drop. He sees the metaverse and NFTs and blockchain as a permanent as a concrete fixture within his brand and within his companies, and he's committed. And for me, like as an NFT and crypto investor, like that's so important because I know that he's going to be around, and in the future he's going to be focused on, providing value to the NFT investors as well. And those have been, about some of our conversations have been about. So really stoked for the drop tomorrow. And Mike is just such an incredible person. It's just, when you hear him talk, he's just insanely intelligent and smart and everything like that. So I'm excited.
Wow, did you say that everyone who purchases the NFT will get the access to the app? I mean, obviously, I need to get in shape, and then I watched some of the videos that Mike did, especially on those push-ups. That he swoops up and down, and I'm like, I cannot believe how he can do it. But with Mike being on our side, we can achieve insanely amazing things. So it's just so good to see that Mike has become part of the community. We refer to community as the fastest growing community on the NFT blockchain, which is on the crypto.com NFT platform. And Mike popped in last week into our Sunday space. I think Gonzo and him are two good friends that they work out together, and he just popped in, casually introduced himself, and he was intrigued. I feel like that when he walked away, he's like, wow, this is insane. This NFT community is real. There's something amazing happening, and he wants to be part of it. So we're all excited to have Mike be here with us for the long run. And obviously I'm going to be in line trying to get me one of those NFTs that I can get the app, so we can reap all the benefits that Mike brings as a leader, as a inspirational speaker, motivator, trainer, coach, entrepreneur, all of the things about. So it's so exciting to see this, that you guys have put this amazing project together. I'm excited. Obviously, can you tell us a little bit more on in terms of timing when the NFT is going to be dropped?
Yeah, there's Jess, you know the exact time. I think it's around 6 a.m.
I think it's 9 a.m. Eastern.
I can help everyone out. It's exactly 22 hours, 7 minutes from now.
Okay, so that's 9 Eastern, you said? Or
Yeah.
okay, so 6 a.m. West Coast time, 9 a.m. East Coast time. And back to what you were saying about, you guys having access to the app and the training. Like, listen, a lot, I'm friends with a lot of people in a lot of different places, right? I'm friends with people in academia, like a couple physicists that are really well known, and we sit and we talk and we talk and we talk, and sometimes they kind of dismiss athletes and that whole world of brilliance, right? And there is brilliance. Like, our brains and our bodies is all connected. It's all one. It's no separation. How I see things. I mean, literally, there's no separation. And sometimes people that's not tapped into, being in shape or being athletic or whatever, they kind of dismiss that, right? And it shouldn't be dismissed, because there's a thing called kinesthetic intelligence. There's 9 different types of intelligence that exist but people really only deal with one type or talk about one type, and that's more like a scholarly type of IQ type of intelligence. And that's just one tiny sliver and being a full, well-rounded Renaissance person, I have a friend in here, I see right on third comment, Chris Gethin, and that's like my soul brother, you know what I'm saying? So he's like me, we both have been, we're just gym rats. We love, we're both athletes and have been for all our lives, but it doesn't stop there. Us pushing our bodies to and past what is normal, what we feel is our limits, it really unlocks certain things in the brain with creativity. I mean, and also, he and I both happen to be very successful serial entrepreneurs, and not just that, we just, we're good friends, and, when we get together, we have some powerful conversations, you know what I'm saying? The vibe is just heavy, and, I feel like when people are just leveling themselves up on all those levels, not just intelligence, but also with their physical well-being, you know what I mean? it just makes you a way more rounded person and a happier person. And you get to really, I don't know, I feel like you enjoy life on a whole different type of level. Like your appreciation for everything is greater. You know what I mean? So I preach people bettering themselves in every aspect, mind, body, spiritual, financial, business, everything. So that's what it's all about. And a lot of people do leave that part out, their physical fitness. And I know there's a lot of people in here that are crypto NFT investors, this and the third. A lot of you guys are probably super duper rich. Imagine being super duper rich and super duper in shape. You know what I'm saying? Just really just attacking it at all angles of being that complete Renaissance person, So that's why this is important. And just a little bit about me business wise. I do very, very well. And I have a lot of things that are running autopilot that I don't have to really participate in to keep making money. But I still train people. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys, this is my boy. I'm training him now, I'm making him meet me every morning at 7 or 6:30 or 7. And we go to the gym because I like helping people get in shape. That's a passion of mine, one of my passions. So this is what I do. I know the benefits of it. And I preach it and I push it on people. Or not push it, but I share it to people because I know that once you get in and you get locked in, you're going to really appreciate it. And it's kind of like when somebody comes to your city or goes somewhere that you've been and they say, hey, what's to do around here? And you recommend a restaurant or something like that. And they go and they experience it and it's really good. And then they tell you, hey, thank you for that recommendation. It kind of feels good. So it's the same thing with this, with me. My passion is sharing it with people about, increasing their physical fitness, enhancing their physical fitness when they tap in and when they get hooked and when it's just benefiting their life in every level. It feels good when they tell me or when I see them doing good and striving. So that's why I'm so passionate about this stuff.
Dean, have your hand up.
Yeah, cheers. No, amazing to hear that, Mike. I mean, I completely resonate with that. Spiritually, physically, mentally rich. That's the goal for all of us, I'm sure. And that leads to true happiness, right? Out of interest, where do you think that sort of vision, that aim of being so wide, having a range of, aims in life, not just, for example, I know I work with athletes. I know a lot of athletes who get so driven just on one thing and they become tunnel vision on one thing rather than looking at the bigger picture, which also has its benefits. Where do you think that sort of came from? Was it something you picked up super early or is it now sort of mid-career? What do you think?
I think I've been like this my entire life. I've been in shape literally my entire life. I was an athlete at age 12. I've been traveling the world with boxing since I was a kid. So, and I've always wanted to be strong and in shape. I grew up on like Conan and, He-Man and all my cartoons and my childhood idols were like super swole and in shape or whatever. But now I think there's a lot of people like me. It's just that now we have social media that gives people a look into everyone's lives for the most part. And, people are seeing there's a whole bunch of other Renaissance men and women out there that some are there already in pure form, and some haven't really started yet, don't know where to start. And they need people like myself or my buddy Chris or whomever to kind of guide them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and when you ask where's it going, to me, one of my heroes is Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Joe Rogan is a funny dude. He looks like he's getting younger every year because he's keeping himself in shape. When you listen to him, his brain is very powerful. He's a very intelligent person. He's well-read. He can match wits with the best of them, And, he's a good, honest human being. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the vibe. This is the vibe that a lot of us are on. I think, as time keep going on, the social media keep growing and the cream keeps rising in terms of content and the stuff that people put out there, really permeating society. I think that this is going to become more and more common. I feel like people are, I think Instagram started around 2012. And I remember people that I was doing business with in fitness space. was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be a thing. And I was like, look, this is going to grow to be a multi-billion dollar industry. I'm speaking of fitness in particular and I said that because this is something that benefits everybody, not just athletes. It benefits moms, dads, uncles, entertainers, entrepreneurs, you name it. You know what I'm saying? And then even like in pop culture, one of my favorite shows is a show called Billions. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it. It's on Showtime, and it's about a billionaire hedge fund manager and a real savvy district attorney is like a Tom and Jerry type. This guy's trying to get the other guy, but they're both at the top of the game, very intelligent, very successful. And in the show, they both meditate, they both train, they both, you know what I'm saying? They both do things to expand their minds and their bodies. And, you know, that's the vibe that I'm on. That's the vibe that a lot of my peers are on. And I know that's the vibe that a lot of people who may not be on it now, they want to be on that. And once they're introduced to it, they're gone. You know what I mean? So, and that's partly because my app and what I offer in terms of like training is more than just physical, it's mental as well. I have a whole category of content called Mental Jewels, which it's all, truth be told, I've been writing a book for about 5 years, and all of this content is excerpts from my book that I'm just speaking into the camera. But it's all mindset stuff, and some might look at it as extremely philosophical, but it's very practical, and I break it down how it's practical, you know, when you really check it out. But yeah, I feel like this wave is going to grow, you know, and I have a lot of faith in humanity and in society, and it's because it's partly because of my bubble that I'm in, but also when we meet people and we reach out and we travel and we touch other people, we see that glistening in their eyes. They're like, oh, I get it, you know, and people are trying to gravitate towards being just a great person all around and treating themselves good. And you treat yourself good, you're going to treat other people good, most likely. So a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, if you guys join my Discord, I can send you links to, like, you know, my channel, you know, just some of the stuff that you can get some of the backstory on what I'm talking about. So I just started the Discord yesterday. I'm a rookie at it, but I'll throw a link up on Twitter or something, and you guys can check that out.
So I want to open the mics to the folks in the audience, for Damien, Joe, Schwid, Ronzo, Jesse, Genius, just to kind of have one-on-one conversation in here. So if anybody wants to go up, ask a question to either Mike, Joe, or anyone in here, let's just do it. You know, now it's perfect time. You're in charge.
Very kind to my body, and this drop might be, you know, exactly what I need to get me tapped right back in again. I can tell you're the kind of person whose progress bar is 99% full at all times, and you're always still chasing that last 1%. And I think that's the same kind of drive we could all use. Like everyone else is saying, you can say we're being nice, but what I'm saying is that you're being modest, man. You're seriously a pleasure to listen to. I really appreciate you being here, and I'm excited to hop into that drop tomorrow.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it, bro. And listen, I promise, you know, I take everything serious, and when anyone patronizes any kind of business or service that I provide, like, I take that very serious, and I treat it serious, so I promise to try to do my best to over-deliver.
Hey, so Gonzo, you've been working out with Mike. I mean, you've been pressing some insane amount of weight. So tell us that, you know, how you got into it, and you got into these amazing, insane amount of weights. You weren't even, you know, thinking that things are possible until you got together with Mike, and, you know, you found that you have limits higher than what you thought you had, you know, prior to the sessions.
Yes, Mike. I don't know what he did, but he told me like a certain strategy of how he works out, and it's like a science to him, and it really resonated to my brain right away. So I was just like, what the heck? He's all, yeah, you can do it, man. So basically, I was doing squats. I haven't done squats in a long time, and especially doing 315 for 2. So
he said that I could do it, and he warmed me up and whatever. He had his own little strategy for me to do it, and yeah, I hit it. It was crazy, and there's it's like a power. It's like a power of like confidence and being confident, just like of doing it. It's very powerful that I actually got to accomplish that.
Like everybody that I know, I see my buddy Joey Firestone in here. He's like me too, and these people like work their ass off, like just work. My buddy Jerry Neumann in here, like there's people that literally will work all day every day, you know, and it becomes, you know, we tend to fall into spaces where we're working in fields and areas that we love, so it's not even hard work, right? So, but even when the work is hard, it doesn't matter. It's like let me after it. Let me get it. You know, let me show you how you think this is hard. Let me show you it's not. Let me show you how easy I'm gonna make this look. So that's what happens, and that's the kind of mind state you get when you're on that training protocol that you guys are on right now.